Okay, so I was asked to do a tutorial on alter to rest pose. Alter to rest pose is a feature we have in the Avastar add-on. And what it allows you to do is to take the avatar and put it into any position that you want it to be in order to create clothing on it. And then have the ability to move that clothing back to the T-pose and begin your weight painting and rigging for it. So this is how it's done. It starts off with the avatar, and people will go in here and, whoops, wrong one, and you put this in pose mode, and I did that with the control tab, or you can choose that from the menu here on the bottom. But most of the time it's a pose that people use, and that is a rotation of the upper arm down by 45 degrees. So let me go ahead and rotate these arms down. I also like to grab these upper arms, and I like to just nudge them down a little bit. That's just a personal preference when I use a pose like this. And that's because people like to make sure that you don't get extra bulky stuff here in the arm area that you can get when the arm is straight out. The shoulders sometimes turn out nicer as well too when you create clothing on one that's in a natural pose rather than the T-pose. The legs are also done at a rotation of about 5 degrees out on each one. So let me do that as well. Okay, so this is the A pose. This is the one that most people will use without the arm nudges, of course. This is the one that people will use in other applications as well. So if you get clothing from another site, like some gaming engine sites, or maybe like Poser, or any place like that. Actually, I'm not sure if Poser does clothes really, but anyways, from other sites you can find their clothes in this position. So let's say that you got your clothing made, and so here I have some clothing. So I'll move this out of the way so you can see. There's the clothing, and it was made on the A shape like this. And now what I need to do is I need to put this clothing into the actual T-pose. And I need to clean all of the weights out of it in order to have a clean, fresh piece to start rigging and weight painting for my final product. So what we do is we take this shirt and we take the pants and the rigging like that, and in the Avastar tab, in the skinny section, we have two things to do. The first one is the weight box here. It's asking you what kind of weights do you want to use. Well, a lot of people use the bone weights, but I find when I use the bone weights, the bone seems to move faster and further than it does with the meshes. And for me, the meshes seem to move more in unison with the actual, between the clothing and the rig. So I keep mine on meshes. Also, then you click on the Alter to Rest Pose button. And after you do that, click on the Bind to Armature, and you'll see that there's a 2 here in parentheses. That's simply just to say that you've got 2 items that you're trying to do this to. I shouldn't say trying because we're actually doing it. So I'm going to click on Bind to Armature. And when I get my little notice up here that it was all copied over and stuff and good to go, that's awesome. So now I come in here on the rigging only by right clicking on it and go back into pose mode. And I take the 2 here that I nudged down, so I'm going to hit G, Z, and the up arrow a few times and hit my enter key. And then I'm going to click on this one and rotate it. And you see how the clothing is moving up with the actual armature now, the arm. So that's good, and I'm going to do this to minus 45 degrees. This one I will rotate to 45 degrees. This leg I will rotate to a 5-degree mark, and this one to a minus 5 degrees. And I didn't have to use a direction or an axis which way to do that, because I'm doing it from the point of view, and you can see I'm in front ortho view, so straight on camera view works great. After this is all done and your clothes are back in the T-pose, or they're in the T-pose now, I put the rigging back in object mode, and I click on the pants and go to the modifiers tab, which is the wrench icon, and apply the modifier here. You see it, the avatar. So apply that. And then I go to the vertex tab here. It's actually the object data, but it's got a vertex symbol. And in the vertex groups, I just want to simply delete all of these. Okay. So now I've got absolutely no weight at all in here. It's not bound to the armature at all or anything. So if I click on the shirt and I go here and I apply that into the object data and delete all those, you will see that I can now click on the rigging and I can rotate it, and the clothing does not move anymore with the armature. So it's at this point that you would do your rigging. So just click on the clothing and that, and you begin the rigging process. So more on the rigging at another time, I guess. That's it for the alter to rest pose.